Just an update on the whole flashlight thing. I did a video on flashlights. When was it? When I switched a lot of them over to Maglite. Oh, must be about 4 years ago. Well, I've totally gotten away from battery-powered, at least lead-acid batteries in flashlights anymore. Your common over-the-counter alkaline cells and all that. I just can't find any that don't leak and destroy the damn flashlights. And some of these lights are getting a little expensive now. So I really don't want to be doing that. So the Maglites, they're all retired, except for one that's a rechargeable. That one, the one that plugs in the wall, that I'm still using. My other problem is a belt light. I carry a flashlight on my belt all the time. My vision's not that great at night, all of that, getting up there in years and all the rest. I need a reliable light, and sometimes, under certain conditions, a reliable light could mean the difference in life and death. You know, it's not just fumbling around in the barn, going up and down the dark stairs or anything like that, but what if, I hear a bump in the night and I have to investigate and I cannot identify what made the bump because the flashlight failed? That's not a good situation to be in. Or just lighting my path so I can see where the hell I'm going and I don't trip and fall on my ass, crack my head open, whatever. And here is this is only some of the lights I've tried in the last 4 or 5 years. Obviously, the oldest one I've carried would be the old-fashioned mag. This is not an old-fashioned Maglite. This one's about 6 years old. It's actually an LED, one of Maglite's actual LEDs. And this one is still working. It's the only battery flashlight that I still have, and only because I use it in my toolkit when I'm working on things out here and I need to see something really up close without worrying about getting grease in all these nooks and crannies on these flashlights. But this works, but it has a bad habit that I find time and again of this getting a little loose in the belt holster and it deploying, staying on, draining its batteries out. Then when I need to use it, it's dead. Did it several times when I was carrying this and various other Maglites. So I retired those. Then I had the so-called Maglite Tactical. This one took 123A batteries, I think they were. You buy them in a blister pack at the store. They are not rechargeable. And even under normal use, the flashlight tended to drain them out relatively quickly. But when it self-deployed in the belt holster, because its little button on the back, or was it on the side, I forget, got hit and it went on too easily, and then they're dead when I need to use the flashlight, then I got to put new batteries in it. It gets expensive after a while. That was not a cheap flashlight. I don't have it here. I don't know what I did with it. Did I give that one away, or maybe I sold it? I don't remember. But that went the way to Dodo. That's gone. The next one was this, the first of mine that is an actual rechargeable with a lithium-ion battery in it. Nebo, whatever this is. It works. It's actually been sitting around for a year and a half, and it still works. I didn't charge it up. Problem with this, and this is one of these little rotating head ones, small size, which is really nice. It's what attracted me to this, because it was small and it fits in a little belt holster. It's not intrusive, but this button is very, very easily pressed. There's no protection around it, and when that's in a belt holster, you bump against something, it goes on, stays on. They don't shut themselves off, and then you end up with a dead flashlight. Yeah, it's rechargeable. You can plug it in. It's that magnetic thing. Plug in the back. You can charge it up. But that gets really irritating when you need to use the damn thing and it's not working. So that one went the way of the Dodo. Let's see. We had a whole bunch of these cheapy Amazon specials. All of them with the same problem. All of them rechargeable. Lithium-ion batteries. All of them under $40. And while it does work, at the moment it's working, and it has multiple settings, all of that, the button is very easily deployed. Boom, the flashlight's on, and then dead. I have 3 or 4 of those. Let's see. The next one was the Olight, and this is not a cheap flashlight. the so-called tactical, what do they call this? The Olights. I can't read it. Warrior X. Yeah, I'm taking this to war. I wouldn't take this piece of shit to war if you paid me. Mostly because you see what a button is right there in the back? Yeah, it's got these 3 little pyramid-y things to guard it. But it's very, very light to push it. And when you do, it goes on. And then it stays on. So it's in the holster, actually like this. And you bump into something, it goes on, and you don't notice. This can actually get hot enough to set your pants on fire. So was not real happy with that. I wore that for like a year. It self-deployed, I don't know, a dozen times, and I finally got fed up with it. Then along comes some advertising I saw online for an outfit called Monster Flash. MF Tactical Monster Flash. Their big thing was, and this was not a deciding factor in their favor, but it's always nice, made in the USA. Okay, that's what they claim. I cannot substantiate this. But they're advertising online, their website, and I think I saw some advertising on Facebook once for them. Made in the USA, batteries made in the USA, flashlight made in the USA. Okay. Doing some research on them online, there are some internet message board posts that suggest that they're not being entirely above board about that. New Jersey is not known as a hotbed of industry, and somehow they're able to make these flashlights and keep production costs under $200 a unit. I think I paid, right now, actually, this flashlight is on sale. This one. It's on sale for $100. Oh, this is the Olight, I'm sorry. This one. It's on sale for $119 without the battery. Every other flashlight here comes with a battery. This one, they make you buy it separate. The battery's $25, $26, I think, plus whatever it is to ship and the tax. So you have to buy the battery extra. You have to buy the holster extra. But it's made in USA. So they say. Well, once I did a little more reading and I looked really closely, there's one thing I see that is not here. See, it says Sierra P 2500 lumen monsterflashlight.com. Nowhere, anywhere on this light does it say made in USA. Now, every company out there, especially ones making these so-called tactical devices like this, doesn't matter if it's guns, knives, flashlights, tools, whatever it is, they know that putting made in USA is going to be a really good sales tactic, because American buyers are going to see that and they're going to go, whoa, okay, that's made in USA, cool. You know, I'm going to buy that, support American industry. Let's try the box. The box has their monsterflash.com and even their address on the other side. It's a suite in Millburn, New Jersey. Doesn't say factory, just says a suite. But it does not say anywhere on here made in USA. So, you know what? Is a possibility that the internet could be right about that one, and they are fibbing, because here's the thing. It's okay not to have made in USA on a foreign product if you put the country of origin on the packaging somewhere. Now, maybe this had different packaging when it came into the country. Maybe it was packed in a bigger box or some other way to get around it. Like when the old Craftsman tools first came out, they were say made in China. They didn't say made in China on the tool. They just took off made in USA and they put made in China on the packaging in tiny little print where you would not be able to see it. I cannot substantiate that this is made in the USA or not. I don't know. But like I said, that was not a deciding factor in this case, because this flashlight had a feature that I was looking for specifically, and that is this tail button. Listen to this. Click, click. All this button does is turn the light on and turn the light off. That's it. You don't set modes with it, you know, high, low, and like that. You don't make it flash. What you do is you would turn it on, and then you would go to the button here on the side, and you would press this a number of times to get whatever mode you might want. Then you could lock that mode in. So every time you hit this button, whoops, I can't do it with one hand. Every time you hit this button, that mode would come on automatically. That was the selling feature. I had this flashlight. It was brand new about 2.5 months ago. Then one day I took it out to look at something, hit that button. It flashed brightly 3-4 times and then went dead. Lovely. It's dead. The only time in the entire history that I've been buying these stupid tactical lights that one of them actually failed, broke. Not even the Chinese-made Amazon special cheapie over here, dollar store, whatever. Not even this is broken. And I've had this one like 2 years. And it's been used plenty. Never broke. All right, they do back their flashlights. It's a warranty. It's a 1-year warranty. Okay. So I packed it in the box, packed the box back to New Jersey, sent them an email, told them it was coming. All right. A few weeks go by, notified the flashlight's coming back. They told me what was wrong with it. Circuit board went bad. I guess there's circuit boards, obviously, computer crap in there. It went bad. And they had to replace it. Lovely. Okay. It's coming back. All right. Gets back here. I take it out of the box. Let's see if it works. And I went to hit the button. Click, click. Nothing. Nothing. Do you know why? Because there's no battery inside of it. I opened it up. I looked. No battery. I look in the box. No battery. Well, I obviously did not remove the battery when I sent them the broken flashlight back. Why would I do that? Because how are they going to test it if the battery is not in there? It could be the battery that's bad. How do I know? I left it alone. I put it in the box. I properly notified the post office that I was shipping hazardous material, a lithium-ion battery. You have to notify them. And I did so. I don't believe it cost me any more in shipping, but it was noted on the label or whatever. Went back to them. I didn't think anything of it. I fired them off an email. Guys, it's lovely you got the flashlight back to me, but you know what? I kind of do need the battery if I'm gonna use this. Nothing for about a day. I get an email back from MF Tactical, Monster Flash. Well, we talked to our technician. He searched his workbench, and he checked his notes. There was no battery with the flashlight when it came in. Bullshit. Absolute, unmitigated bullshit. Tell me you lost it. Tell me you forgot to send it back. I'm not going to get mad, irritated a little bit, but I have other flashlights to use. But don't tell me I did not send you. I'm not some teenage kid whose head is up his ass, doesn't know what he's doing. MF Tactical. You know, I'm an older guy. When I say I did something, I did it. You could take that shit to the bank. When I say that there was a battery in this flashlight, there was a battery in that flashlight. Do not tell me that there was not one, because now you're calling me a liar, and that just pisses me off. Very, very bad sales tactic on MF Tactical's part. They have a good product. They stood behind their product. I do not fault them on that. I love that tail button. That was the single solitary thing that sold me on this flashlight above all the others. I don't care how bright it is. I only use it on the lowest setting. I wanted that nice, solid, click, 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 click. Not one time in the 2.5 months I used it did this flashlight deploy on its own by getting banged around in my belt holster. Not once. But it's pretty useless to me now because there's no battery. And I will be dipped in shit before I go back to MF Tactical and have them send me another one of their batteries, which I would be paying for. So a little research into lithium-ion flashlight batteries, like I care about that stuff. I found out that the Olight battery, the one in the Olight, is exactly the same battery, even looks the same. Different wrapper on it with different advertising, but it's the same numbers, the same voltage, whatever. Same battery. Same price even. Except the difference with Olight is it comes with the flashlight. With MF Tactical, it does not. You have to buy it. And the flashlights are similarly priced. So I am going to buy another Olight battery, or just take the battery out of my Olight and use it in that one until it breaks again, which will probably be 1 day after the warranty expires. You know how that works. And MF Tactical has cost themselves not thousands of dollars worth of lost business, but I was planning on getting one of those little fat lights, which like a spotlight type deal, at some point in the very near future, and probably at least one more similar flashlight like this, and I would have updated as time goes on, as long as they had kept that same button on the back, because it's a step above the rest of them. Now, if anybody else knows of one of these tactical lights of similar size and features, this one's 2500 lumen or whatever, that has a button like that, nice, solid, you really gotta hit that hard to kick that on and off. And all it does is turn the light on and off. You would think that's a simple concept. It's not how Olight works. With Olight, once all the way down, turns it on full. That's as bright as the sun. To get it to go just to half power, you have to kind of feel your way down. It does not click at all when you do that. Kind of feel it in there until suddenly it just pops on. See, yeah, see, I didn't even click it and it went on. And to get it off, you have to then go all the way to the click and then off. That's why it deploys so easy, but it's also more difficult to use. And these side button ones, yeah, they work. You can hear it click on and off, but you have to hold it, I think. Oh, come on. See, I hate it when one button controls all of these features. What am I doing wrong? I can't even, there we go. Something else I don't like about that. Overcomplicated flashlights. But on the side here, they just deploy too easily. You bump into stuff, it's on. You know, and if you carry your flashlight loose in your pocket and that happens, you're going to get burned. It's going to hurt. These things get really, really hot. These LED, I mean, you ever see those commercials online where they've got some stupid flashlight that sets things on fire, they're burning through plastic with everything like that? That's real. They do that. Some of these lights can indeed get that hot. This one is not going to do it very fast, but give it enough time, sitting on in your pocket, it will do it. A flashlight like this will do it very quickly. Especially this one, the Olight. What is the Olight anyway? How many lumens is that? I don't even know. 1,000 maybe? This doesn't actually say. This one is 2500 max. You don't have to run it at 2500. It's got 7 different power settings. I think this one has 2. This one has a whole bunch. I forget about that one. And of course, Maglite only has 1. And how many lumens is the Maglite? They don't actually say. And you know, the thing about Maglite is, I was saying about the Made in USA. What does that say? USA. Mag Instrument, California, USA. Because Mag does actually have a factory in this country. And they put it on their flashlights. That is a sales tool right there. I have bought Mag lights for more than 30, probably 40 years I've been buying Mag lights, since the early 1980s. Always knew they were made in America, and I like that fact about them. I just don't like these little ones and how easily they turn on. And I do not blame Maglite for the faults of batteries that leak. That's not Maglite's fault that happens. You know, eventually I will get back to using my big head thumper flashlight, but I'm going to get one of those battery sticks, those rechargeable battery sticks you put in there, and use it that way without the regular leaky batteries that destroy your $300 flashlights. But that's the story about MF Tactical and my experience with them. I said I was going to take issue with their performance, and I am. It's not the product. It's not whether or not it's made in America. I could care less about this. I don't care. It's nice if it is. If it's not, so what? None of these are. You know, it's just not everything is made here. But the thing with the battery, that really pissed me off. Really, really pissed me off. I said a whole bunch of words that I'm not going to say here about their performance. Unbelievable. Really unbelievable. Oh, yeah, our technician says that it wasn't in there. Really? What do I gain? What, do you think I'm trying to scam a free battery out of you? Obviously, I was using the flashlight to burn it up. I had to have a battery with it, didn't I? Stupid asses. But luckily, I can get another battery from another source and just keep using this until it burns itself up. And like I said, if anybody out there has a good belt light, similar lumens, heavily constructed. This is aluminum, heavily constructed. I don't care if it's got the eye gouge thing there, or little scallops here in the front. I'm not going to be busting somebody in the face with this. That's what knives and guns are for. I'm not going to use a flashlight for that. I just need a reliable, bright, when needed, flashlight, lithium ion, magnetic induction charging with a nice positive tail button that clicks on and off, and that's all it does. Just turns the light on and off and does not deploy on its own. That's the important part. I don't want that thing going on in the belt holster, and then I'm in the hospital trying to explain a third-degree burn on my ass from a flashlight. Yeah, that sounds like a real good story. I'll have to lie and think up a better one. But there you go. That's the story of the flashlights to date. The update. So if you're going to be dealing with a company out there, I strongly suggest you deal with MF Tactical very carefully. Very carefully. You cannot trust everything they tell you or everything they're going to do. I told you the good parts and the bad parts. I'm being fair here. You know, I liked the flashlight. It did work. It did break. They did back up. Yes, I did have to pay to send it back to them for repair, but they did actually fix it. I tested it with the Olights battery. It's working. They did actually fix it. It's the lying about the damn battery. Or maybe they're not lying. Maybe they really think that the battery wasn't there because they stupidly lost it, which tells me we're dealing with poor management and extremely careless employees to lose a customer's equipment. Not cool. And then to immediately suggest some stupid crap to the customer that the battery wasn't there. You must be mistaken. The battery was there. Bullshit, I'm mistaken. You know, that's definitely not something I'm mistaken about. But there you go. Oh, and here's the other thing. I almost forgot about the lamp. This is the one from the estate sale last week. I mentioned I'd gotten one from the house in Poughkeepsie. It was kind of a time capsule from the 60s. This is a mid-century modern lamp, 1960s, like everything else in that house. It has a P&A in Danbury, Connecticut burner on it. Problem with a lot of these mid-century lamps is they were made for looks and not necessarily perfect function. It has a very large, I think it's a 7/8 wick on there. It has a very deep reservoir, all the way down to here. It's only midway up with the lamp oil I put in there. When you have one like this, you have to use kerosene. You cannot use lamp oil like I'm doing here. I actually forgot that, and I put lamp oil in there because I don't have any of my kerosene here anyway. But I put lamp oil in there. It will not wick properly. Lamp oil is too thick, even on a warm day. I mean, okay, today it's probably 65. It's not that warm, but even on a warm day, it's still too thick to wick that far. You got to pull all the way up there. Still too far, and so you end up with this really low flames. I had the flame really up before. You see how low that is? And it'll stay that way until I replace the lamp oil with kerosene. I mean, perfectly usable if you remember to put kerosene in them. In the old days, that's what they had. They weren't using lamp oil like we do now, so everything was kerosene. That's what they used. This was not a problem. And they were also aware of the wicking capabilities that they had to work with, and they didn't make fuel reservoirs quite so deep on most lamps, unless it was ones with the big circular wicks, like the Royals and the Millers and the who am I thinking of? Well, whoever. There's other lamps. But if you ever buy one of these, keep that in mind. Buy some kerosene with it, some of that clean kerosene from Home Depot, and throw it in there if you're going to use it for storms or whatnot. I mean, it's a really nice one. It's got a nice shade on it. That's not red glass. It's got a coating on it, you know, and it's just fine. That's not unusual for the time period. And there you go. That's it for now.